I'm 5 minutes tardy, and my apologies. We like to start right on time. So I'm glad you guys were talking and had a chance to just communicate a little bit with each other. Um, all right, we're live on YouTube. Hey, listen, what a great start we've had to the preferred funding. So leaders, um, great job if you are helping to promote. And if this is your first leadership Zoom, as Morgan mentioned, welcome back or welcome. This call is designed for people who are leading teams, and not just leading teams, but want to duplicate and ripple effect. In our business opportunity overview, we talk about market leaders. Market leaders are people who duplicate and it spreads. I was just reading, I'm a Christian. Some of you know that. I was reading Second Timothy this morning, which is a letter Paul writes to Timothy, someone he's discipling. Paul is someone who was an apostle in the Bible, wrote a lot of the New Testament. And so he was one of the people who persecuted Christians first for believing in Jesus Christ. And he was part of the Sanhedrin, which was the Jewish officials. And so then he has an experience with Jesus, becomes converted. And this is after Jesus has already been crucified and rose. He has a revelatory experience, so he now becomes a promoter of Jesus and a teacher of Jesus to what they call the Gentiles, to the non-Jewish people. And Timothy was one of his disciples who he was teaching. Disciple just means student, right? So he was teaching Timothy. And Second Timothy is Paul's last letter. And so Paul didn't have Zoom, or he would have done Zooms. Paul had parchment paper, so he wrote letters. And Timothy was one of the people that he was discipling and teaching. And it made me think of all you leaders, because each one of you is like Paul in that you're discipling others. Your job is to disciple others, not just be receivers of the good news. That's all gospel means, is good news. Not just be receivers of the good news, but to actually teach others, to disciple other DAC agents on the business. So that's why what Monday is all about, is to make sure we're giving the playbook to all of you to then take to your team to teach your own Timothys, if you will. So Paul's last letter, he says, Timothy, I just want you to have the boldness to get out and teach what I've taught you, because I know my end is near. And he knew he was going to be killed very soon. Um, and he was, and they believe anyway, he was martyred. But the point is, in that letter, I feel, when I read it today, I just could feel his hope that the discipleship that he had given Timothy would carry on, that Timothy would have the boldness to go forward, even though people will desert you. And Paul talks about, this person deserted me, and this person deserted me, and this one deserted me, and this person wasn't there to help defend me in the courts, and no one was there to help have my back, basically. Even though I was out there living for all of them, none of them had my back. And it made me think of today, all of you as leaders, you're all like Paul. And there's going to be times you're going to work real hard with people who aren't going to have the boldness to carry on. And it's just part of being a leader. It's just part of leadership. Is lonely. There was an individual friend of mine, his name is Tony Kupis. Some of you may know that name. He's the founder, one of the founders of a company called ACN, American Communications Network. Tony and I went to middle school together in high school, and I was a rep in their company early on. But I remember after I left his company to start my own, we talked one day. He goes, leadership's lonely, isn't it? You're pretty much on an island. Your job is to share and grow and help, but there's not a lot of other people doing what you're doing. And you have to identify. And so, what I want to talk to you about today is, as you're behaving like Paul, teaching your Timothys, you got to understand, and we all got to remind ourselves that as we do that, who we invest that time into is really up to us to determine who we invest that time into, so that we can create people who do ripple effect away. Because I can give an hour of my time to agent one or agent two, and it's the same hour of time. It's the same love and consideration. But agent one may not do anything with it. Agent two might. And so, even though you're giving everything you got to agent one, it doesn't mean they're going to produce. And it's good that you are an honorable, integrous person who works from servanthood and you want to serve agent one just like you do agent two, and it's great. But there's also responsibility that says, and Jesus taught, there's four types of soil. And as you sow seeds, some soil is just going to fall on the stony path. It's not going to take root. Some stone's going to be eaten up by the birds. Some stone's going to fall where the weeds are. Some stone's going to be in shallow dirt where it takes root and gets excited for a week or two and is loud and look at me, I'm a starfish. I'm going to do great in DAC. I'm going to knock it out of the park. And they flower up for a little while, but then shallow soil equals shallow roots. And as soon as some heat comes, they quit. But some is going to fall on good soil. So knowing that, it's our job to learn the system, teach the system to the right people, but also be okay with when we teach it to someone who doesn't do anything. It's if there's four types of soil in the good news called salvation, there's probably four types of soil in the good news called the DAC opportunity too. And not everybody's going to see it. And even those who see it isn't going to be deep soil. They're not going to have deep roots. They're going to see it for a season. And so our job as their leaders is to help identify and invest time in, and then bring the good news, bring the actual information, bring the right information to the agent. So we went through the checklist of what to do with a new agent. There was a checklist of all the things you do with a new agent, but it starts out like this. Put it this way. If let's use the analogy of Jesus, you don't have to be a believer. You know, Christianity exists, and Christianity started with a man who brought 12 aboard, and he taught those 12, and those 12 have turned into now a whole religion, right? So believe it or not, it's a religion that is now moved one of the largest religions in the world, right? So if Jesus, though, and I'm sure this happened a lot, if he said, hey, come follow me and I'll make you a fisher of men rather than a fisherman, and someone said, forget you, you're a freak, you're a kook. Do you think Jesus would have stopped there and tried to talk him into it? No, of course not. And if he would have said, hey, come follow me, and they said, okay, and they followed him for a day, and then we're like, man, I don't think this guy Jesus is really real, which is what Jesus experienced in his own hometown. His own family didn't think he was the son of God, right? So he left his town. You know, they say a prophet is not welcome in his own hometown. A prophet meaning a prophet of God, but financial profit too many times is not welcome in your own hometown. Sometimes you got to go to places other than your closest family for them to see something, right? That's okay. And but the point is, as you're going through and you're bringing people forward, the first indication is important. If you say, hey, come follow me, Peter, and Peter goes, forget you, Jesus, you're a freak, cut your hair, grow up, you know, put some real shoes on, whatever. I'm sure Jesus would have kept walking and talked to someone else, right? He's the one who taught about the four soils. Some's not going to fall on good soil, right? So if you introduce someone to the business, just because they join does not mean they are ready to be agents. That means they have expressed an interest. Enough of an interest. It's just like someone who applies at our business funding and they answer the first five questions, they've expressed their potential engaged lead. But until they complete that application, they're not really an applicant because they got to upload their bank statements. Maybe their revenue isn't what they say it is. So they're never going to upload their bank statements, right? Maybe they're going to doctor the bank statements. Maybe they're just never going to complete the app. Well, same thing when someone fills out there's not a lot of barriers to becoming an agent. You fill out the form, you sign up, your tax ID is really the only barrier. And then boom, they are an agent. Well, once they've done that, they've become what I call an engaged agent. They're an engaged lead, right? They're not really an agent yet. What you have to go through is look at the first set of questions. Did they read their welcome email? And I would check this with everyone before you invest more than 10 minutes of time with them. Did they read their welcome email? Did they watch the Get Started training? Did they watch the funding training? Those three things open up live conversations. Now, you could be you can invest time with people before they've done that. in the recruiting process if you know them or if there's some engagement. I'm not saying don't engage and don't talk to people. But what I am saying is don't invest an hour-long game plan with someone who's not willing to watch those first three trainings or first two trainings. Okay, so that's the first thing that you need to make sure everyone in your team's doing. That's one thing we all want to be on the same page on is we game plan those who've gone through the first two steps. Now, in the near term, the LMS will do that. They won't be certified agents until they've done that. So you'll be able to say, are they a certified agent? Then do a game plan with them if they want one. Right now, we don't have that certification process live. So we're asking you to behave as if it's live. Make sure they're certified. Make sure they've gone through the introductory steps before you invest that time into them. And we're not saying it because we want to be rude or drive a hard line. We're saying it because we want to protect your time. One of the things that you'll do if we don't say this, what many people do is they give everybody all the time they need. And some people just aren't going to work the business and they're going to take your time and they just want more time and more time and more time. Right. So we spend a lot of time sharing this, but as you as leaders, we want to make sure if something were to happen to me tomorrow, just like Paul's letter to Timothy, he said, please have the boldness to behave with the teachings you've received and the grace that comes from God, because you're going to need it. You're going to need it. And I'm saying, yeah, you need the boldness, but you also got to determine who to work with, right? And one of the things you need to do is make sure you're working with only those who are working themselves. All right. So that's the primary thing I wanted to talk about, sorting your recruits, basically. I did want to say we've had a couple new clients already with the preferred product. One's 186,000, one's 86,000. Those were two that just came in right away. There's a lot more approvals out there that are moving. One of them came from a brand new agent who was with us less than 3 days. So that shows you can introduce me tomorrow and earn a commission. Those people are already earning commissions. In fact, I think they went out today. I don't know. I don't do commissions anymore, but just based on when the funding happened. Actually, it's about a week for that lender. So they're probably not going to go out till mid this week. But that enroller's getting a nice check. I mean, the rep's going to make over 5 or 6, 7 grand. I don't know what it is. They've been with us less than a week. Their enroller is going to make 10% of that minimum. And the enroller just recruited them. So keep that in mind. The enroller minimum 10% bonus is available to people that aren't even in the business yet. Who do you know that's not even in the business yet that needs to know about this because they know business owners who need funding and would take it this week? There's that impact. You make an impact when you recruit a new person, you're potentially changing their life, their grandkids' family tree, potentially. I've recruited people, I've changed their grandkids' family trees. They've earned millions in our industry and have recruited others who've earned millions in the industry. People I've recruited who didn't show any reason why they'd be successful versus anyone else. And I've recruited others who I mean, think, man, if they just did it, they could do so well. All the talent and all the charisma in the world, and they're not interested in the business. So you just don't know. You got to watch people's behavior. You got to watch what they do. You can't prejudge. You can't tell them they're not going to make it. That kid's not going to make it. Look, he's not even showing up to his college classes. You think he's got any ambition? Maybe he doesn't learn well in school environments and wants to be an entrepreneur and is just looking for something that he could do, but doesn't have the money to invest in a business. And he's saying, one day I will, one day I will. And all of a sudden he finds out about DAC and found his home. And others, they got the master's degree and they got the good job and they're given 80 hours a week to their job and they're underpaid for what they do. And man, if they just could dedicate the same amount of time into this that they did to their master's degree and to their career, they'd make $250,000 a month with us, but they won't because they have a job mentality and they're going to stay in the employee world. Okay. We're not for everybody. We don't say we are. Remember the 4 types of soil. But what your job is to do then, and if you saw the new BizOp overview, we discussed the team growth and how you earn overrides on that average $100 bill ahead. and it just was recorded over the weekend. So if you didn't watch the recording, you haven't seen it yet, you'll see it in tomorrow night's BizOp overview when I cover it. It's just another new slide. But your that doesn't happen without you adding the one, right? You adding the one. So leaders, keep this in mind. It's not, we know you're recruiters. What are you helping your team remember? The team needs to get clients, and they're also, this is the team growth training. We also want to ask them, how are you doing with recruiting? Who do you know that be good at this? Who do you know that is ambitious? Who do you know that's got B2B marketing experience? Ask them those questions. Let's see if we can reach out to them, see if we can get them on Tuesday night. So give them not an assignment, but give them a goal to get them on Tuesday night's presentation. If you say, who do you know? Let's think of some people you know who do B2B sales. Tom. Yeah. Does Tom know about our business yet? No. Let's see if we can get Tom to attend tomorrow night. That simple thing, just that simple exercise is how the Detroit Lions recruit a good football team. They're thinking, who do we need? Who do I know that would be a good defensive end rush? Who do I know that would be a good safety? And they're always looking for new players, right? Always. And we want to remind our teams to always be doing that. So, reach out to the team, make sure you're identifying the right ones to work with. Number one. Number two, make sure you're then seeing who's done the three things. Read the welcome email, attend the Get Started training, attend the basic funding. I mean, these are basics. Until you've done that, you're really not even an engaged agent. You're just a engaged lead, really. And then once you've done that, then do the private game plan with them. We do have a game plan video as well that you can see. It's now in the Agent Resource Center. You can watch that, but it's better to do a live one with them. And then, of course, so what we're going to do between now and next week is keep in mind on the main thing. The main thing is the preferred funding product for May, the incentive there. Keep that in their mind. The preferred incentive sharing contest, which is on Facebook. Report your points, report your points, report your points. So it's go after preferred, report your points, and let's see who we can get on Tuesday night's BizOp Live. That's the main things you want to be covering with your team this week. Those are the three main focuses. Okay. In addition to, of course, getting amped up, getting clients, helping them get clients, help them get their first client, etc. But the kind of the emphasis, the special sauce that we're adding this week is the preferred May incentive, the sharing contests, and putting some people on Tuesday night's presentation, because addition becomes multiplication. Addition becomes multiplication. We can't multiply without addition. There's a lot of people getting checks with a comma in it, overrides, not on their own fundings. But that doesn't just happen. That happens because they recruited people who recruited people who recruited people. And now if you make $100 bill on average on everyone who comes in your team with the funding, if you just have 10 a week, you're making $1,000 a week. 20 a week, $2,000 a week, just in overrides, right? So that's all I want to talk about today, but I'm here live so that we can take questions. Any questions from anybody at all about anything we've talked about? I see Brandon's got his hand up. Go ahead, Brandon.
So if you can forgive me, it's just a funding based question about the maximum factor rate. I couldn't find that anywhere. What would that be?
Maximum cost. Well, we have some lenders who go as 1.65 maximum. Rather than a decline, sometimes that gets offered. But we tell people we're 1.18 to 1.5 is our primary range. The only time we're going to go above 1.5 is if it's a super high risk. There's only one lender I can think of, actually two, who no one else will offer it, and these people will. So we present the offer rather than saying no. We say here's one here, but so that would be the most expensive. Harlequin,
Hey, David.
how are you?
I'm doing fabulous. A couple of quick questions. I know we changed the Getting Started page on the Agent Resource Center, and we now have the game plan video on that page. Would it be possible to put the game plan document just under that? Because there are people who are going through that training and they don't see the document to kind of follow along with it. I think it would
Yeah,
make it
that's
easier.
more for the agent to do with their enroller. I mean, I suppose we could. You bring up a good point. Part of it is we want the enroller doing it with them. The enroller knows where to find it. The new agent may not. Um, I don't want to turn that page into there's 17 documents there. So that's why it wasn't even on there. If you remember, what game plan wasn't even on the get started page. The LMS is going to change all that. Probably, it may even be by the end of this week. We'll see. We're testing some things now. So I would just say we'll probably just leave it for now. I think on the video I say you get it from the team building training. I think I say where you get it from. But if not, it's part of our job as enrollers just to let people know you can pull the game plan documents off the team building section. So that's
Yeah.
just for you all to know that. Thank you, Harlequin. By the way, Harlequin, your hair looks great. I don't know if you're doing your hair differently, but it looks really good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. When you first came on, I'm like, wow, look at her hair. Go
Yeah, well,
Harlequin.
I just washed it, so it's all
It's got a different
Flying.
lay to it. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Good. Well, it looks good. So I would just say that as part of our job as their leaders, thank you, Harlequin, for mentioning this, would be to tell them the documents. I'll send you the document. I'll email you the document when we do the game plan. I'll send you a link to it. So, because we don't want them just going in clean. We want them going in with their enroller.
Yeah, I realize that, but there's not some enrollers are not doing that. So
Agreed. Yep.
yeah, I had noticed a question in the Facebook group about it over the weekend, so I thought I
Yeah,
would.
maybe I'll put it in the video or something, something in there on how to find it. Just keep that page in
Yeah.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not trying to make it hard to find stuff, just trying to keep it from being polluted. There's
Oh,
so many things on I want to get Relevate off there, frankly, but support gets Relevate questions all the time. So that's why
Yeah.
it's still on there. Yeah.
Okay. The
Right.
other thing that I noticed, there's some people that are going and they're taking the social media posts and they're putting them, they're posting them on social media, which is what we want them to do. But they are also going and tagging individual businesses in there as well, which is kind of spamming their page.
Yeah. Yeah, I would, Facebook will shut you off for doing that, by the way, guys. So if anyone's doing that, teach your teams this. Hopefully it's not any of you. But what Harlequin's talking about is if you share a page, you take our social post and share it to your Facebook page, let's say, and you tag David Rutz landscape and you tag it, I'm going to be like, now it's showing up on my David Rutz landscape page. I don't want your crap on my page. Thank you. I report you as a spammer to Facebook. You get a couple spams and all of a sudden your page is shut down. They put you in jail. So never do that. Don't tag people. If they say, well, they wanted me to tag them, then just direct message it to them. Send them a private direct message then. Don't do it in the public space.
Yeah. Okay. Because
Thank you.
someone had posted that and other people were like, oh, wow, that's a really cool idea. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, you'll get shut down.
Yeah,
Facebook will shut you down quick.
Yeah, the other thing is because they're using the corporate social media posts, then I don't want it to reflect on DAC as well. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So folks, please don't do that. And if you see any of that, if you could, we all police a little bit. Harlequin, you always do a great job of this. You communicate with the people, let them know as well. Who do we got? Gina and then Jose. So go ahead, Gina.
Hey everybody. So I took the weekend to like revisit all the trainings because I'm a disabled vet and my brain just doesn't work. It does repetition better than everything.
Yep.
And I really never thought I would say this, but I really, really want to be a leader and I want to have people under me. And I just wanting to hear feedback on how, as a new agent, if you did both, because to me, I'm like, okay, let me get myself established. But then I heard you say I didn't wait till my first
Yeah.
sale to do
Yeah.
that. So I was wondering what is because I'm a over analyzer and I can get stuck there like this morning instead of I had in my mind last night when I went to bed, I'm calling on home caregivers throughout Texas. I want to do 100 calls a day to get to my goal. And after rewatching those videos, it amped me up and got me ready for today. And but then I got an analysis paralysis again this morning. But my question is, how do you do it in time blocks? How do the successful people do it? And what is that? What do those time blocks look like? Because unlike a lot of other people, I still have that employee mentality.
Sure.
I want to
Sure.
know structure and I want to know just A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and I will do whatever it is you tell me to.
Yes. Well, part of it is it varies by person, right? Because some people, Gina, are give me a block of time and I'm gonna nail it in that block of time. Others need sprints. I can't do more than 10 minutes of any one thing. If I do more than 10 minutes of any one thing, my energy is gonna drop. So it's really case by case. But what I would say for you, based on what you've said, because I know you're willing to just get after the phones, I would put a block in there. And your enroller is Wade, is that correct?
Yes.
So Wade is already capable of helping with all your new agents, meaning you don't have to understand everything on what to do with a brand new agent just yet before you can recruit them. What you do want to do is just like you refer your clients to the funding page to learn more or to apply, you want to help get your team on with Wade through three-way calls, game plans. He can help do the game plan for your team. You don't have to, etc. So for now, you can be a bird dogger, just like you recruit potential clients to go to the application. You can recruit potential agents to go to the application and say, okay, now Wade, what do we do with them? And you have a collective group call with them afterward. There's things we do as a group after you get them started. The same thing with funding. So for you, I would say set up a block. If you need a break by a certain time on calls, there's certain times it's not good to be calling business owners, evenings, as an example, unless you're purposely doing voicemail drops. Restaurants at 5 a.m., 4 a.m. is a great time. Restaurants are always busy when they're open. It's hard to find a restaurant owner that's not busy unless it's like 2 o'clock. And usually then they're dealing with all the shift change and all the issues. So, it's hard to get a restaurant. So voicemail drops, but I would say set up a block that says, okay, this is when I'm calling business owners. This is when I'm calling recruits. This is when I'm following up with business owners. This is when I'm following up with recruits. And I'd say offline of that, I'd say get with Wade and talk to him a little bit more about what type of block, how he could assist with the agents, because our Tuesday and Thursday sequence are set up. So they watch Tuesday, Thursday, they attend Wednesday, get started training. Then they have people on Thursday. Thursday, they get started. They attend the training over the weekend, have people on Tuesday. So we've kind of got them spaced to have a natural progression of recruiting multiplication. So I don't know your personal, if you're a sprinter or a long sequence, or a Mondays I'm doing recruiting, Tuesdays I'm doing funding calls. Everyone's different. So
Yeah. I think
let
I'd
me
like a
ask you
mix
this.
each
Are
day.
you, when you put your head down to do something, do you stay laser focused and you got to turn off all distractions? Are you easily distractible?
Yeah. I'm such,
Okay.
yeah,
So
I'm
you've
very,
got a hyper awareness. Um, someone said my wife had, I'm not saying this is you, but someone said to my wife, she's got an attention deficit. I said, no, she's got attention awareness. She's got a surplus of attention because she can constantly see things. It's a gift. And
yeah,
I have that myself. I will go completely hyper focused on something.
on stupid
And
stuff,
what's that?
on the dumbest stuff.
Yeah, but you're curious. So
Yeah.
you dig in. So I would say to you, I would set up schedules of times and shut up, put your phone, not your phone, turn off all reminders and say, okay, from 10 to 11, I'm making calls to or 10 to 12, just to home healthcare. From noon to 1, while everyone's at lunch, that's when I'm going to do my recruiting follow-up. From 1 to 2, I'm taking a break. I would give yourself a real direct schedule. When you say you're like an employee mentality, I wouldn't say that. I would just say you need guardrails. You need guardrails. So give yourself some guardrails.
Okay.
And then from there, I'm going to be doing a thing. I'm going through some programs right now on how to help people who 25% of entrepreneurs are ADHD.
At least.
Yeah. 25% of the most successful entrepreneurs are. And so I'm looking at different programs to help teach people who struggle with that. Not struggle, who that's a gift actually, but how to take that gift. I was told this story, left-handers in baseball, there's only 10% of the country who's left-handed, but if you're a left-hander, you have a greater odds of playing in the Major League Baseballs. There's an advantage to be a left-hander. So entrepreneurs, there's an advantage to be an ADHD. It's not, or it's a gift to have that type of attention because you see things, you see ideas, you get ideas, you see how to solve things, you come up with answers. The difficulty is how do you come up with answers and stay focused on the projects you already committed to?
And then
So-
I get stuck on the logistics. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to be a recruiter. Now I need a professional email. Oh, now, and then I'm going in the DAC at Facebook page and like, oh, so and so's got their own web page, a landing page that goes into DAC. Now I got to get that figured out.
Yeah,
So I'll get stuck in the administrative, so I don't have to deal with the phone because there lies the real fear.
well, and I don't even know if it's a fear. It's just that your body is you're curious for all these things you didn't know that you could do. So I
Yeah.
should learn that. I should learn that. And you get stuck into a tangent. So I would say you got to take those distractions off. There's three things. I would write down 3 goals are my 3 goals. I need to get personal customers. I need to recruit personal agents. All those 2 things are the biggest constraints. And I need to help my new agents start right. So customers, new agents start right. Those 3 things are what our job is as leaders. Anything that's not doing those 3 things is really a low priority task. So your barriers need to be, how much time am I putting at getting new customers, not attending 60 Zooms. That's part of help me getting new customers. I need to attend a Zoom. I need to go through some things, but that doesn't make me get more customers unless it's a customer acquisition Zoom. Recruiting new teams. Okay, what do I need to do to recruit new teams? Attending a Zoom doesn't help me recruit new teams. This is helping to sharpen some saw. And then the third thing is helping your team start right. Mondays are good for that. Tuesdays are good for that. But again, Thursday Zoom, Fridays, you don't need to be on the payment processing Zoom Thursday if you're not focused on getting payment processing customers,
Okay.
right? Friday agent update. If you don't want to be on it live, you can be on it recording, get your team on it. But those 3 things should be part of your tasks every day. All your tasks should be related to those 3 things. And if the primary work you're doing isn't related to those 3 things, you're in distraction world. You're being lured away by other things that are exciting and enthusiastic. And if there's a landing page that's out producing ours, I would make it ours. If there's a landing page that's better for recruiting, it would be our landing page. If there was a funding page that was converting more customers than ours, our funding page would change. There's nothing out producing DAC's stuff out there, so you don't need to copy anyone else's stuff. Just use the tools we've already given you. And
I guess that's where I get confused because you guys say in training that not to use DAC branding.
no,
Right.
you can use DAC branding, use our DAC sites,
Okay.
use everything that is our sites,
Right.
point customers right to our sites, they convert.
Okay.
What we mean is you can't create your own tools and pretend to be corporate. You
Oh.
can't create your own banners and say David Allen Capital Inc. and have your picture, because then that becomes confusingly similar. And then people looking for DAC find you, and Gina loses a customer to Joe Blow agent who's acting like he's corporate, who built his own website. He's trying to look like DAC corporate. So we have independent agent logos you can use. If you want to make your own marketing stuff, we allow it, but we create a lot of marketing stuff. So we say, just use the stuff we make.
Can I just not do, I don't want to deal with logos or anything right now. I just want to, can I just,
We've got someone we pay to create social posts every day.
okay.
Use our stuff, use our videos, use our websites. There's nothing I use that isn't available for every agent.
And then last question, in order for me to start recruiting, I do need to have an email that's not a Gmail.
That's not true. We've got 70,000 people have joined, and none of them have joined with someone who's got an email that's not a Gmail.
Okay, I'm gonna shut
So,
up now.
You don't need, you're not recruiting employees. Employees want to see Chase Bank on the email. You're looking for entrepreneurs who are inspired by the message more than who's the sender. So, cold email is different than warm market. What I'd say is I'd start by, as we'd say in the training, make a list of the people you know that you think are good with B2B. And all you got to do is say, hey, I'm working directly with Wade Cordell, the funding champion at this company. We've funded thousands of businesses, and we're looking for more agents to help us with businesses get funding. Are you open to making some extra money, getting funding, just like we teach in the thing, and that's not even coming from an email, right? And then tonight we're doing a Zoom Tuesday night, or I can get you on a 3-way call with him, or here, I'm going to send you a 4-minute video, send them your partner page and watch that 4-minute video. If you like what you hear, I'll get you on a 3-way call with him, or we're doing a biz op Tuesday night. So you use the tools to give them more, to get them on the business overview on Tuesday night or Thursday night.
And biz ops, last question, I'm out of here.
No, you keep
Thank you. Biz ops are every day or just Tuesday nights?
Biz ops, the corporate does is Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 Eastern. But like I know Wade's doing some biz op overviews. You'll eventually do your own biz op overviews when you're ready. We teach all the leaders. We recommend all the leaders do them themselves because it creates a different relationship with the new person, and you can grow your team quicker. If you got 5 people who can't come Tuesday night, but they want to hear about the business, you don't want them to have to wait till Thursday. You want to be, no problem. We'll do a Zoom at 6 p.m. and you do a Zoom at 6 yourself. But Wade's doing Zooms. So I would talk to him and find out when his Zooms are. And, but we're doing them as well. And then, of course, your partner page, davidallencapital.com/partner_overview. That's it's now a 20-minute video that was updated Saturday. And that's the video, the slideshow that's available as well. And keep in mind, everyone, if you don't remember all your links, if you go to any page on our site, whether it's partner overview, preferred funding, gig funding, if you take that URL on the top and copy it, thank you, Gina, by the way, copy that, and you put / your ID number, it becomes your page. You can send someone directly to the payment processing page, or directly to the partner overview page, or directly to the partner short video page, or any page that we have. We've made it so it's replicatable. You just got to put / your ID number on the end. Thank you, Gina. And by the way, Wade, I would talk to Wade about all these things, and he's built big groups and he's funded lots of clients. So he's doing exactly what you're trying to do. Devorah, how you doing, Devorah?
I'm doing great.
Good.
First of all, I wanted to thank you for leading with the sermon this morning. Thank you. Went to church today. Didn't realize I was going to church, but that was great. Great message. I got a lot from it. But I have 2 questions. And the first one is it okay for us to post in those Facebook groups that say hard money lenders, small business loans? I have made posts there. I know one lady was just talking about someone tagging DAC and all of that. But if they're already asking about, hey, I need a loan for this, hey, I'm looking for this, then I'm just basically responding. That's basically how I got in with DAC.
If someone is requesting information, you're answering a request. We encourage you to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the spammy. We're talking about the spammy stuff.
Yeah. I hate those too.
Yeah.
And that's why you put those guards on your Facebook page where can't nobody just post on your page without you approving it.
Right.
But anyway, everyone doesn't know that. The second question was, if we have a person that applied for funding and they did not get funding for whatever reason, maybe it was a special circumstance, who would we call for something like that? My upline, which is Matt, or who would I?
Yeah, well, when you have a personal client, you'll get an email notification of why they were declined.
Okay.
Now it's general, unless we can be specific sometimes, like revenue too low.
Sure. Right.
But there's sometimes we'll say did not match credit requirements.
Okay.
And that's usually not their FICO score. There's usually something else because FICO score doesn't kill most of our fundings. We'll get them approved at a higher risk funder usually, unless they're like a 400 or 500. But generally, someone does not meet eligibility means they've defaulted in the past. So there's a prior default with one of our type funders, or they've got something in their background, some fraudulent stuff in their background.
Got it.
But so we have to be general because we can't get specific. So I would say read your response email. And generally you're gonna be able to discern from there.
Okay.
And your client knows. We tell the client more.
Sure.
So the client will give more of a reason. Like if we say background check, something came up in your background or prior default, we'll
Mm-hmm.
tell them we unfortunately have to decline you because you have a prior default. So
Got it.
they know, but we don't necessarily tell you as the agent because of protecting privacy. Some of these
Mm-hmm.
people are warm market, and so we feel we should do that legally. We don't have to, but we do.
But if it was some special circumstances, that person would contact the lender and just say, hey, this is what happened there,
Yeah,
whatever.
if you've got, I mean, if you've got something like I had one, Devora, is it Devora? Am I reading that right?
Yep, you are.
Pretty
Yeah.
name.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Devora.
Thanks.
I've got a client who, as an example, Wade got received back that the bank statements were altered.
Mm. Oh,
And I'm
wow.
like, there's no way they're altered.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
Okay.
way they're altered. Now, I've had clients where I've looked at the statements, I'm like, they're altered. I can tell they're
Right.
altered, right?
Gotcha.
And so I'm like, Wade, I don't believe they're altered. Is there any way you can double check that?
Mm-hmm.
And he double checked with the lender. The lender's like, there's 3 lenders who said they're altered. So now they're all using the same software. I'm like, wow, I can't believe this client would alter the statements.
Right.
But I still don't believe it. It's just not his character, right?
Yeah.
And so I said to Wade, is there anything else we can do? And they said, well, if they'll do, I've got one lender who's willing to spend the time with your client, getting on the phone, if we can log into their banks with them and actually see their bank
Got
accounts
it.
with them.
Okay.
And so let's verify it. Well, at
Right.
that point, the client got cold feet.
Gotcha.
So the point behind that is he probably did doctor his bank statements.
Right.
But the reality is, though, that Wade was still able to pull a favor. So if you have
Gotcha.
a special circumstance that's really special,
Right. I
and it
got
just
it.
so happens that that wasn't really special, but
Mm.
because Wade and I are partners, he did it for me, and I believe
Sure.
in this
I
business
got
owner.
it. Right.
So if you got special situations unique, just get with your Bank Breezy contact. It's going to be Brad or Wade or McGuire or Morgan or whoever is contacting you from our team. And just
Got
let
it.
them know, hey, I got something unique. Is there anything that can be reconsidered on this? Or
Perfect.
but
Okay.
but just so you know,
Mhm.
Devora, we do that anyway.
Right.
We're always trying to find the benefit of the doubt and see if we can help them. And we'll ask the client questions. If let's say Wade gets a decline for something, he'll talk to the client. If there's a way we can overcome that, he'll talk to the client and go, hey, this is what they're telling me. Is there any, can
Okay.
you help me with that? The ownership situation shows you're not an owner.
Right.
How can we prove you're an owner? Because the documents don't show you. We need to go to the Secretary of State and add your name. We need an owner agreement. We need to
Sure.
see that purchase agreement.
Got
So
it.
we do all that anyway.
Yeah.
But if you got something unique, just go to the submissions at bankbreezy.com. They're the ones who
Well,
email you.
I just got one last
Yeah,
comment
go ahead.
to tell you how much I appreciate you. And I think I said that before some other
Thank
call.
you.
But you have made this business very easy for us to do because you've done a lot of work. You put the work in by the video. You like, just show them the video, just do that, and so it makes it so simple. I've been a banker for like 17 years. I'm now in real estate and I was looking for something to do on the side and you gave me that opportunity. And I would not want to work for I'm just kissing your butt today, but I'm telling you the truth.
You don't need to do that, but thank you.
Look, but Matt is amazing. I appreciate him. He on my butt like I don't know what. Like you need to do this. You need make sure you're reading this. Make sure I'm like, okay, I got it. But he's on it, and I appreciate him for that. But I wouldn't want to work for a better person. And I feel you're genuine. I don't think it's just get business loans. That's all we need. But you have made this such the business plan is, okay, I'm going to give you a scripture. When Solomon was building the temple, Noah was building the ark, all of those things, God gave them detailed instructions on how to build it. And you did that for us. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate
and I need my first funding.
What's that?
I'm trying to get my first funding for May.
Hey, you know what? We all were until we did. We all were until we did. So thank you. Thank you for the kind words.
Yeah.
And we're so glad to have you. Ellen Wynn, superstar Ellen Wynn. How you doing, Ellen?
Hey, I'm doing great, David. Thank you for the compliments. Hey, listen, I'll make this short and sweet because I know we've been on a little bit long, but I wanted to go back to something you were talking about with Gina and that whether to recruit or not recruit, need to get and all that experience that's necessary. But you alluded to edification with her where you said, say I'm working directly with Wade Cordell. He is this. Not everybody on here has Wade as their sponsor. So I just wanted to chime in and talk about how important edification is in general, whether you're working with an active enroller or not. You can always say, hey, I'm working closely with the founder of the company, because we all work closely with you as we interact on our Zooms each week. So even if you don't have that person like Wade to say I'm working directly with them, you can say I'm working closely with. That is a true statement, because David, I know you're available to each and every one of us. Edification is key. And when inviting to the business opportunity presentations, edifying you as the presenter on Tuesday and edifying one of our top up and coming leaders, Nick, on our Thursday Zooms, whoever the presenter is, always edify towards that presenter, towards that other person that is your support staff, support team. And it takes the pressure off of you having to prove success. So just wanted to chime in on that, because we don't talk about edification enough. And I think it's one of the key things of being able to build a business and grow when you're brand new in this space. So thanks for the opportunity, Dave. Happy Monday, everybody.
Thank you, Ellen. Brilliant, brilliant. Ellen's been Agent of the Month several times. In fact, would have been many more had we not stopped tracking it. Ellen, superstar points. Thank you for mentioning that. And edification, there's no question in the world of communication, when you're talking to a client or a new agent, there's a trust relationship and there's a respect relationship. Usually you don't have both. Usually you have someone's trust, but not their respect, or you have their respect because they don't know you and they've been told things about you, but they don't yet trust you. And it's the triangle that does them both. Now, obviously, as you build your success in a category, you become respected in that category. But until you do, if you've been a writer and now you're doing business funding, they know you as a writer. Or you've been a whatever lifeguard and now you're in business funding, they trust you and respect you when it comes to working for the Coast Guard and helping someone who's drowning, but they don't trust and respect you when it comes to business funding. They trust you as a person. They need something to respect, and that's where the edification comes in, is you promote another person's expertise and how you get to work with them. And Ellen's right, folks, I'm working with all of you. We're on this Zoom. I'm willing to do calls with any of your teams as long as they go through the process. We do live presentations. We take questions every day. So we all are working together. Promote your leader that you're working with. And if you don't have a leader, keep going up team until you find one. And if that's me, it's me. McGuire Tate, back from Vietnam. Good morning, Vietnam.
Good morning, guys.
In the US, are you back on East Coast time yet?
I am. I don't know if my mind is, but my body physically is. So we're adjusting slowly. Technically, I'd be eating lunch there right now as of 2 days ago. So I'm working everything out time-wise.
No. You're eating lunch here. You're still in Vietnam.
Oh, yeah, you're
time.
right. See, I'm trying to mentally get myself there. I'd be going to sleep there now late.
Yeah,
you're
technically
right.
it's lunchtime here, right on.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
No, you're great. I just wanted to jump on and express I'm excited to be back, not only in the U.S., but back in the mix with everything with DAC. I was gone, but not really gone, just a little more out of the behind the curtain, as I was, being that I was on the complete opposite time schedule. So glad to be back and excited to be back on the biz ops. I tuned in and saw Nick crushing it. Obviously, it was 7 a.m. for me when I saw it. So just great to see everybody and the excitement this Monday. Excited to be back and get things rolling.
Love it. Well, I know we got a call this afternoon. Looking forward to catching up with you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
It's nice. Part of this, guys, is to create vacations. McGuire actually took vacation. We told him we didn't want him on any of the calls. Just go have some fun. I saw a post the other day. I'll end with this. Someone said, all these people who start in their own home-based business, I thought they did it to retire. Why don't I ever see anyone retiring? And a bunch of people come on and said, I could retire. I love what I do. Why would I retire from something I love doing? And that's just it, guys. This is, you do this so that you don't need to do anything else, but you're going to want to keep doing it. It's rare that I find people who do real well at this who eventually, I mean, it's so fun to set people free. I mean, it literally, there's nothing. My last company, I shouldn't say last, a company I own is called Escape. And Escape was created because I said to my dad, Dad, I want something that says what I felt the day I resigned from General Motors. That I want a company name. He goes, what about Escape? I'm like, that's it. I mean, it was perfect because that's exactly the feeling. So when McGuire gets to go away for 2 weeks to Vietnam, and I've never been there, I've never had an interest in going. He's sending me pictures. I'm like, man, I want to go to Vietnam. And why not see the world? But if you love what you do, you're on vacation. If you love what you do, and you know, we love helping set people free in business with their own DAC opportunity, and we love help setting people free who've got a business who's trying to grow it to the next level and they need funding. So we take care of both of those. Come on now. What else can we do? And we make it available for everybody. I appreciate you all. Please continue to spread the good news. Take the message. Be an amplifier of it. My house, I've got Wi-Fi here. I mean, this is my home office. My Wi-Fi router's on the other side of my house, which is, you know, I don't know how many feet away, and it's up another story. So how does Wi-Fi connect here? We've got amplifiers all through the house. We have 5 of them. So the signal comes and it amplifies further and comes and amplifies further, and it fuels a lot of different people who do a lot of business in this place. And if without the amplifier, our Wi-Fi doesn't work. Guess what? Without you amplifying, TAC doesn't work. You guys are the lifeblood of our business. We don't have clients without you. Bank Breezy team isn't getting the clients. Bank Breezy team's taking care of the clients. DAC support team isn't getting the agents. We're supporting the agents. You guys are the amplifiers. We help support who you amplify to, and then we help amplify them more with renewals and with different tools and reach outs, etc. But hey, let's all amplify together. Bring some people Tuesday night. We'll multiply them into many on Thursday. And between now and then, if there's any open items you don't have questions to, think of what day is best to bring it up. Ask support, ask your leader, and let's get those answers taken care of. We want to make sure you feel exactly you're in the know on what to do. God bless you all. We'll see you tomorrow on the team building training at 11:30 and the BizOp tomorrow night, 7:30. I can't wait to do the new BizOp tomorrow night. Good night. God bless you all.